Yes. I got mine in high
Well, we all
school.
know. Everyone at home knows about CPR. Coach, can you please start with an opening statement?
Fun game. You know, obviously the Big Sky, you know, conference championship tournament is always a lot of fun, and getting this first game out of the way. You know, you just don't know what you expect. That first game is always a little bit of jitters, a little bit of anxiousness or excited energy, and so we kind of get this one out of the way, get our you know, focus back, and I thought our guys did a great job executing the game plan, getting the hole, and our press was good, something that we've been working on.
When you cranked up the pressure right before halftime, why was that so effective?
Yeah, we haven't used it as much this year as we want. That's kind of part of our identity, and we knew we could turn to it, and it was going to be a big factor for us here in this tournament and going forward. And so with our depth, we think we can put a lot of bodies out there. So we knew we could hopefully play with a lot of energy defensively.
Dre, having seen that Northern Colorado obviously advanced to today, and knowing that they had already had a game under their belt, what was your conversations like at halftime, knowing that you guys had to keep the pressure going in the second half?
It's just all about doing what we do, staying with our principles. We know that they're a good team and it's a game of runs, and that's what we talked about. Like, it's going to be highs and lows, and we just can't ever get caught up too high, can't ever get caught up too low. And we just did a really good job of staying poised and playing really hard.
Coach, did you know that John was going to be able to attack the rim the way he did against the UNC defense? He's saying yes, so maybe he knew something you didn't know.
Well, they're unique. They really stay true to their defensive principles. They get out on shooters, and so the spacing on the floor, we knew we could drive and attack, and if we play, you know, skilled basketball at the rim, that there would be some opportunities there. But just in how they play, that's part of their identity, and it's why they've been so successful. Is they don't allow a lot of threes, and so we were just going to have to be really, really good from two.
John, how were you able to get to the rim so relentlessly, and what inspired your aggressiveness today?
I mean, we knew in the game plan that they was hugging the shooters like Dre, Tell, Mays when he out there. So, I mean, it's just a matter of time. You know, it's one-on-one. Me against the big, I'm taking me anytime of the day.
Dre, Southern Utah's made runs in this tournament before, but never as a top seed. What was the difference in being the favorite right out of the gate today?
There's no difference for us. You know, we're looking at this thing like 0-0. Everyone's hungry. Everyone's vying for the championship right now. So we know every day, every game's a new game, and we just got to be locked in and play as hard as we can. We'll be all right.
Coach, how has preparing for this tournament been a little bit different from years prior, given that you didn't face all of the teams because of COVID cancellations?
Yeah, it's just a little bit more unique. You know, it's a challenge, but they haven't played us either, and so we looked at it like an opportunity for us to get to play everybody. This is a chance, you know, a couple of teams that we didn't get to play, and we didn't get to play Northern Colorado, and the winner of this next game we didn't get to play either. And for us, we want to do it the hard way. We want to beat everybody in the league, and if we're going to win it, and we don't want there to be, you know, hey, this asterisk that. We want to make sure we play everybody, and this gives us another opportunity to make up those games.
Coach, you went up 76-60 with about 8 minutes left, and then UNC was able to claw back a little. What did you think of your team's aggressiveness to be able to weather the storm, or storm the sky?
Yeah. Our you know, having these two guys, we got two great guards. You know, you feel confident at the end of games that we're always gonna be fine, and we get that ball in their hands, and they go 16 for 16 from the free throw line, and so end game situations we work on a lot, and I think we, you know, got in more. We walked ourselves into one there at the last 5 minutes, but it was good. It was good for us.
What was working for Marquis more in the game, and how important was his contributions to your team's success?
Yeah, Marquis was, you know, anytime you're in a tournament situation, there's always somebody that steps up, and Marquis is like another starter for us, and we have full confidence that he's a guy that's going to come in and contribute, and he's a knockdown 3-point shooter, and those coverages, and so we feel like if we can get him some shots from three, he's going to really stretch out defenses, and he gives us some toughness, and so it was good for us. He was was really good defensively, and you know, we expect that from him, and we're proud of him.
John, coming into the game, how big of a threat was Bodie? And I did see near the end of the game where you were like, "Oh, I got him."
I mean, we knew like we didn't know what plays they were gonna run, but we knew it was either ran through Johnston, 15 or Hume. My bad, cracked up. Humes, you gotta be there on the catch. I mean, even if you're there, like you saw, if you're there, he's gonna hit a couple. But I mean, if you're there straight up and down, he also gonna miss some. He can't make all of them. So I mean, we knew the game plan was just to slow him down on threes and just box out. We couldn't let them get the second chance points. That was the emphasis on the first half. After that, we gave him too many offensive rebounds.
Not that I think you need any help in this category, but the person wants to know, after playing about 40 minutes tonight, how are you maintaining your mental toughness given the physical toll you'll likely have after this tournament?
I mean,
I did give you 9 seconds. I gave you 9 seconds. So to be fair.
I mean, it's the same mentality every day. I mean, we practice hard like that. So we condition with Coach I. He does a great job of getting us prepared. We know tournament games, me and Dre, we know we want to play 40 minutes. Like, we don't want to come out because this is big for us. We're seniors. So, I mean, it just means a lot. So, you know, you push yourself in the off season and be prepared for times like this because we know we're going to have to play 40 minutes. So, I mean, we was well prepared for it. So,
Dre, you guys scored 22 points off turnovers. Was that a point of emphasis coming into this game to be able to capitalize on those moments?
For sure. We knew that from watching film and stuff that they had struggled a little bit with some pressure. So once we turned that up, it got ourselves going too, and we started forcing those turnovers, getting easy buckets, and it was a big momentum change for us.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
thank you.
Hopefully see you tomorrow.
Well,
Coach, can you please start with an opening statement?
Yeah, no, just for us, just like we told our guys after the game, just really proud. I mean, when you lose your last game of the season, and just even in the Big Sky, you got 11 teams that all have a belief that they're going to get it done, including us. And when it ends, you don't expect it to end, and so it's tough. But I think for us, just going back to that Southern Utah game, it's a really good team. I was proud of how we started. We came out and had a good little lead early on. Their press really bothered us in the first half, and that's how they kind of flipped that thing around. And going into halftime, down 12, we could have folded easily, and we had a great run to start the second half, and really, it came down to a 1 or 2 possession game late. And so again, just going back to our guys' fight and toughness. I mean, it wasn't a perfect game or a pretty game. There's a couple things that we wish we could have got back, but I am very proud of how hard our guys played, and we'll sleep well tonight knowing that we definitely left it all on the floor.
You touched on it a little bit. Were you expecting the SUU press, and what impact did it have on the game?
Had a huge impact, and yes, we were expecting it. In certain points in time this year, we've done a pretty good job handling press, like when Portland State, who presses for 40 minutes, but same point in time, and call it what it is, I think right when Matt Johnson blew his ankle and was out for about 7 minutes of game time, that was part of the timing on the press. But they are athletic. They want to play fast, whether it's pressing or just running in transition. And when we had that early lead, I think they kind of looked and said, okay, we need to speed this game up. And we just didn't handle it very well. We had some unforced turnovers and some untimely turnovers, and that got the game from a 6, 8 point lead for us to even, and then all of a sudden they had all the momentum to finish out that first half. So it was a real problem.
Bodie, going against the top seed, you raced to a 20-12 lead about 8 minutes in. How would you evaluate the confidence of you and your team entering the game today?
Oh, we had a lot of confidence, and I kind of touched on it yesterday. We were excited. This was our first time playing them, and we know that we're a pretty good first game team. And we were just excited to see everyone have confidence and look excited. I mean, I haven't seen us hooting and hollering in warm-ups in a long time, so just for us to see that, it's a great stepping stone for next year.
Coach, you chased Southern Utah off the three-point line like you've done to everyone else this season. But how tough is the matchup, and when you have one with the most explosive players in the league?
Yeah, looking at the stats here, I mean, they made 5 threes and we made 10, and we had the looks to maybe make that 10 go to 12 or 15, which would have been a different outcome, I think. But that's the way we're built, and we led the country again this year in not giving up 3-point attempts. That's what we hang our hat with, and so it's proud of our guys for doing that part of the job. But when you do that, the other emphasis for us was what Southern Utah does a great job of is their top 15 in the country in getting to the free throw line. And you look at the final stats, 30 for 35 obviously John Knight, it's easier said than done. He's so big, explosive, athletic. Just saying, hey, don't foul him. I mean, you pressure up onto him, he gets around you, you give him 2 or 3 feet, he gets ahead of steam going towards you. So you got to pick your poison a little bit. But I was very proud of our guys executing the game plan to not give up many threes to guys like Tevion Jones. But John Knight just had, I mean, he had a phenomenal game. And, you know, the thing about John Knight is he knows who he is. You know, he knows he's not going to sit out there and I guess he's not a great shooter, so he doesn't look to take those shots. He knows what he wants to do, and he just explodes to the rim. And he played really well. And so that was a problem. And even more so, I think, just, you know, going back to the press and the easy points they got when we couldn't have a settled-in defense was a real issue.
Coach, turnovers can definitely cause a problem, and today you had 18. Just what went in today? Was it a little bit of nerves?
I don't think it was that, because I think going back to the fact that we started off up, you know, 20-11, 20-12, whatever it was. I mean, our guys weren't nervous. Like Bodie said, they were confident going in. We really believed that we were going to come in here and give Southern Utah a great shot. The 18 turnovers, it was 12 in the first half. And again, just in that one stretch in the first half, I bet 9 of those 12 were in that one stretch. And we just kind of lost our minds. You might have lost that Zoom link there. But yeah, you know, we almost lost our minds just in that one stretch. So, you want me to keep going, or? Okay. So that was you know, it just one of those deals when you play a team like Southern Utah that can really flip things around quickly. I think that, you know, they did a great job in that one stretch, and that really at least flipped the game on its head. So,
Daylen, what was some of the conversation like at halftime? Just especially knowing that you guys were intense from the beginning to the end.
Just not to lose our intensity. You know, we was right there. It was a 12-point game. You know, we've been in games where we were down and we were able to come back and close the lead. And the big thing is just coming out, striking. You know, the first 4 minutes, trying to cut it down to maybe 8 or 7. You know, just taking our time, getting it back.
What were some of the conversations like near the end of the game? Like you said, you guys are always in it. The intensity was there. And how did you guys stay mentally effective today?
Just kept telling each other, keep fighting, you know, keep fighting, because we were right there at the end. I think it was like 80-84 with a couple minutes left. We were right there, still two possession game. You know, that's the big thing, just keep fighting, and we're right there.
Bodie, assuming that Rod comes back, what do you think the team will look like next year with a loaded roster of experienced guys?
Yeah, I think experience was a huge thing for us this year, and it'll be a huge thing for us next year. We had a lot of freshmen that stepped up. Bryce Kennedy and Jamel Melvin, they played really great down the stretch, and even in the past, maybe 2 months of the season. So we're excited. We're excited to see everyone come back and really get after it.
Coach, Bodie's pretty special. What does it mean to see him really grow into his role this year?
Yeah, I think, yeah, obviously he's a very talented player, but I think the way he finished the season, you know, these last 2 games, and what people will look at as, well, he had 30 points, and that's great. But I think more so, even thinking back to the Sacramento State game, the plays he made on the defensive end, a couple of the blocks that he had to help save that game, that's, you know, when people ask about Bodie, sometimes people just want to look at the points per game or whatever, and it's not about that. You know, what it's about is how can you impact the game off the ball. And, you know, Bodie this year was our leader in blocks. He was our leader in steals. He was second leading defensive rebounder behind Kurjakuc, who can't say enough about him. He's had 6 double-doubles in a row. So he's our second leading defensive rebounder. So I think with Bodie, sometimes the impact is like, well, he's such a great scorer. He scored a great these last 2 games, but even when he doesn't score as much, because you got to take what the game gives you a little bit, his impact away from the ball. So I'm just really proud of his growth, and I'm proud of how he finished, you know, the season. And I just, you know, obviously everyone could see him kind of limping around out there. Like, no one can question his mental or physical toughness, because he had to get through a little bit of pain in his foot, and he did it to the highest level. So I'm really proud of him.
Daylen, you scored 22 points tonight. Just kind of tell us some of the things that you were seeing on the offensive side of the ball.
Just being aggressive, you know. Once we were breaking the press, just, you know, going down, being aggressive, and then in the half court, just being aggressive when I can, getting opportunities to attack, kick, or if it's finished, to finish it.
What is something that you'll take away from this season?
I mean, it's a crazy season with the whole COVID thing, you know, like, now I learned a lot from, you know, from our coaches, from our teammates. I learned how, you know, how close of a bond we got. You know, I feel like I made like a real brotherhood with all the teammates, and that's the biggest thing.
Bodie, what is something that you want Northern Colorado fans to know about the men's basketball program?
I want us to not be judged by the record and by how we played this season. For us, you can look at our record and they're going to say, oh, wow, we had a rough year. But if you look at the scores of those games that we've lost, they're close. They're right there. Like we are on the edge of something really spectacular, and I should tell everyone that they should be excited for next year.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.